Welcome to the Diaspora Show with me, DJ Kadero. What's going on? It's Monday, June 8, 2026. What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Only here on 87.9 The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. Thank you guys for your patience, huh? You guys waited a long time to hear me. Yeah. For those that don't know, this is how the Diaspora Show works. First, I give you guys the Diaspora news. That's top stories going on in Africa, the Caribbean, and anywhere else that the African diaspora is centered. That's right. That's the African Diaspora news, huh? Diaspora news. Then I give you guys words of wisdom through the African proverb of the day. You know the African proverb of the day. Looking at. So it's words of wisdom either through a life lesson, an affirmation, or anything of the sort. Once that's done, I give you guys the best beats, the best vibes, the best melodies, the best harmonies, because I am the bomb, the baddest Afro DJ in the game. And today being Monday, June 8, 2026, it's Reggae Mondays. That's right, it's Reggae Monday, where everything I and I, Ja, Rastafari. So I'll be spinning the best of what the Caribbean has to offer. How you like that? How you love that? Huh? Well, with that being said, let's stop the yapping and let's go ahead and let's get into the Diaspora news. Come on. Live from 879 Studios in Omaha, Nebraska, this is Diaspora News with your anchor, DJ Kadero. Yeah, that's me. What up? How was your guys' weekend? Did you guys have fun? What did you guys get into? I know that you guys are continuing to not know how to park. Ask me how I know. Also, it seems like you guys are more drunk now than you guys have ever been in any other time in history, huh? Yesterday I was taking a walk. I almost had to put hands on some public drunkard. He was yelling at children and also yelling at a woman. I almost had to put hands on him, but he ended up walking away. Huh? Yeah. DJ Kadero almost had to get physical, huh? How's that song? Let's get physical. Yeah. I almost had to get physical. You guys are acting a fool. Yeah, speaking of acting a fool, you guys can act a fool in the chat, huh? You guys can act a fool in the chat. The chat seems to be going crazy already. How in the app itself, there's 5 categories towards the bottom of your guys' screen in the main screen. Click on the group chat tab. It'll ask for you to enter a username and password after you click to enter chat. And then you can go ahead and add your comments, perspectives, and views on not only my show, but any of the other programs on 87.9 The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. In the chat, Lita says, what up, Kadero? Yeah, what up, Lita? And Lita says, not you hitting puberty in the middle of your house. Lita, relax. Hey, okay, I see Lita's about it today, huh? All right, and so are we. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm DJ Kadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News. Let's go ahead and break off the top stories going on in Africa, the Caribbean, anywhere else that the African diaspora is centered. We start off in the Mideast because the Mideast has started fighting again. All right, war drums have been beating loudly in the Middle East. Iran and Israel have exchanged direct gunfire. This is the first time since April of this year. The clashes happen along the border zones between the countries, and missile strikes and artillery fire lit up the sky. Both nations claim that they're defending their borders. For more on this, we go on the ground to our ABC affiliate and they have more. I know you guys are always like, we have affiliates. Yes, we have affiliates. Come on, this is Diaspora News. Please respect yourself.
We begin tonight with a new wave of attacks in the Middle East as the war between the U.S. and Iran reaches the bleak milestone of 100 days. These Iranian missiles were seen in the sky over Israel. It's the first time Tehran has launched strikes against Israel since that fragile ceasefire started back in April. Those strikes come after Lebanon's capital city of Beirut was targeted by Israeli strikes. Israeli forces say they were targeting Hezbollah militants. Israel is now vowing retaliation. The security minister quoted as saying, "Tonight, Tehran must burn." How President Trump is responding. ABC's Tom Suvi-Burge leads us off from Jerusalem tonight.
Tonight, on day 100 of the war with Iran, the ceasefire cracking as Iran launches its first missile attacks on Israel in almost 2 months. Iran firing multiple waves of ballistic missiles at northern Israel. An Israeli security source saying at least 10 Iranian missiles were intercepted. There are no reports anyone was killed or injured in the attack. Iran retaliating against Israeli strikes earlier today on the Lebanese capital Beirut. The IDF saying it targeted Iranian-backed Hezbollah in the south of the city just hours after the militant group fired projectiles into northern Israel. Tonight, in a phone call with Fox News, President Trump reacting to Iran's attack on Israel, reportedly saying, quote, "What I would suggest to Iran, you've shot your missiles. That's enough. Get back to the table and make a deal." And in another call tonight, Trump reportedly telling Axios he was about to phone Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and tell him not to retaliate by attacking Iran. But in a sign of the pressure Netanyahu will now face domestically and from within his own government, his far-right security minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, posting in Hebrew on X, "Tonight, Tehran must burn." The Iranian attacks on Israel coming after the US military and Iran exchanged volleys of fire this weekend near to the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM saying it struck Iranian radar sites Saturday after it intercepted Iranian drones which were threatening ships. Iran then firing missiles at US allies, Kuwait and Bahrain.
And Tom joins us now live from Jerusalem. Tom, after Iran's attack on Israel, President Trump reportedly planned to speak on the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. What more can you tell us about that call?
Yeah, Lindsay, just days ago, President Trump telling Netanyahu not to strike Beirut after Iran threatened to pull out of talks. Now, earlier tonight, before reports of a fresh phone call between the two leaders, an Israeli official telling us they did plan to retaliate against Iran. Key questions now. Did Trump tell Netanyahu not to? And what will be the Israeli response? Lindsay?
The world is all waiting and watching for that. Tom, thank you.
No, you can't do this. This is our home.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm DJ Kadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News, on the Diaspora Show, on 87.9 The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. It is Monday, Reggae Monday to be specific, here at 87.9 Studios in Omaha, Nebraska. It's June 8th, 2026, and we're just getting into our first story. Iran and Israel have started fighting again, the first time since April. So that video clip from our ABC affiliate let you know that the clashes started because both sides said that they feel the need to protect each other's borders. But why does this matter to Africa? I mean, this is the Diaspora News, right? Right? It is the Diaspora News. What does Israel and Iran have to do with anything? Well, the global economy is already shaking. I mean, come on. Gas by the gas station close to my house is $4.40 a gallon. $4.40 a gallon. Come on. Omera niaje. Hey, wakazi vipi? So this fight between these two countries threatens to push oil prices even higher. High oil prices means already higher cost for your food, because your guys' food, you guys don't plant them in the backyard. If you're in the United States, you know that, planting food in your backyard can be a little bit dangerous, huh? Yes, you can get a ticket. I know our international listeners are like, what are you talking about, Omera? Yeah. In the United States, if you try to plant your own food, yes. HOA, yes, Homeowners Association will come by, and it's usually a Susan or a Catherine, yeah. Hey, DJ Kadero, I see that you've grown potatoes, and I see that you have a chicken coop for your chickens. I guess that's against HOA code violation 233. Blah blah blah. Yeah. You in the United States, it's almost illegal to plant your own food. So food is brought to you from other nations, usually Mexico, right? And other parts of the United States where maybe, just maybe, it doesn't grow wherever your concrete jungle is. And so that's being transported by semi-trucks. Or if you're out of the United States, lorry trucks. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that semi-trucks, 18-wheelers, the rest of the world calls it lorry? Did you guys know that? It's called a lorry. So if you ever hear somebody say, my dad used to drive, back when I was an adolescent, he used to drive a lorry, yes. They're talking about a semi-truck. It's an 18-wheeler, yeah. Also, a toilet is called a loo, yes. I'm going to the loo, yes. And also, bathroom is literally where you take a bath. The toilet is not included. The toilet and the bathroom or washroom are two separate places. They're almost never in the same place. Anyways, I'm getting too far away from myself, but yes. So higher oil prices means higher food prices because the lorries or the semi-trucks that it takes to deliver your guys' crispy, tender, flaky crust Hot Pockets. It's going to increase. It means higher costs for transport across Africa as well. So all across Africa, leaders have been asking for peace since this war began between the two sides, and they want to stop the violence. War in the Middle East hurts the global south the most, which is Africa, Australia, South America, the Caribbean. And we will watch this story very closely. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that first story. Iran and Israel fighting once again. DJ Mr. Soul says, hey! All right, what's up, DJ Mr. Soul? Mr. Soul, I use a new software program, so I don't know my sounds yet. I'd give you an air horn. I'd give you an air horn or a siren. I don't. I'm still figuring out this new software. If you want to know what new software I'm using, guys, don't worry about it. Don't ask me. Mind your own business. All right. Lita says, I plant food in my backyard. Lita, do you live in a neighborhood with the HOA? Huh? Hey, Lita. Hey, Miss Lita, do you have a permit to have the chickens in your backyard? Puny ass. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our second story. And we go to South Africa, where the president finally addresses xenophobia. Let's get into it. All right, President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, gave his State of the Nation address. He spoke about a major issue. He spoke about xenophobia. This is the fear or hatred of foreigners in your country. South Africa has seen rising anger against foreign African workers, and guess what? It's coming from black South Africans that have animosity towards other black Africans in the country. Weird, right? The president of South Africa spoke in a firm voice, and he said that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, and he called for an end to anti-foreigner violence. He reminded the nation of a key truth. Africa helped South Africa during apartheid, and we are all brothers and sisters. This comes as recent videos, numerous videos of African foreigners being almost stripped of their possessions and belongings from native black South Africans, saying that they're taking their jobs, taking their women. And also in multiple videos, black South Africans have been telling other black African foreigners that they have until June 30th, 2026 to leave the country or else. For more on this, we go on the ground. Yes, we go on the ground to Cyril Ramaphosa's speech and the xenophobic climate in his country. Let's take a listen.
South Africa's president moved to diffuse growing anti-immigrant tensions on Sunday with a speech on national television. The country has seen weeks of protests and violent attacks amid calls for a crackdown on immigration.
We will not be fooled or influenced by social media campaigns that spread misinformation, fake news, and lies about people who are in our country. We must be concerned that anti-foreigner sentiment is at times accompanied by tribal and ethnic slurs, insults and attacks aimed at other South Africans. This is not acceptable.
Anti-immigrant groups say foreign nationals in South Africa illegally are exacerbating the country's high unemployment and putting pressure on public health and education services.
Yet we must recognize that illegal immigration is not the cause of all our economic challenges. There are other causes. The answer must be faster economic growth, greater investment, industrial expansion, infrastructure development, and the creation of millions of new jobs.
Ramaphosa said there had been weaknesses in the way South Africa has managed migration and promised the government would take decisive action now.
The Department of Home Affairs, the Border Management Authority, the South African Police Service and other law enforcement agencies have been and will intensify the process of identifying and deporting undocumented foreign nationals residing illegally in South Africa.
Ghana has repatriated around 300 of its citizens and said more will be offered the chance to return home because of what it called threats against them.
Once again, if you're just joining in, I'm DJ Kadero, and this is the Diaspora Show. This specifically is the Diaspora News segment of the Diaspora Show, where we cover the top stories going on in Africa, the Caribbean, and anywhere else that the African diaspora is centered. I'm your anchor here on 97.9 The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. It is Monday, Reggae Monday to be specific. I, Jah Rastafari. It's Reggae Monday here on June 8th, 2026. So we're getting into our second story. President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, finally addressed xenophobic remarks, sentiments, and atmosphere in his State of the Nation address. Many of you probably weren't even aware that xenophobia was happening from black South Africans towards black African immigrants. So the president, in his speech, promised to fix legal immigration. He says he wants to protect local jobs fairly. But he said that violence is never the answer. What's your guys' thoughts? You guys think that this will resonate with those that are beating the drums of xenophobia? And that they will stop what they're doing in their tracks and say, you know what? Yeah. Just to give you guys a follow-up, Ghana has repatriated at least 300 of their citizens back to their country since xenophobic attacks began January of this year. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that second story. Let's go to the chat. Lita answers my question about Homeowners Association, and she says, I don't give a damn about HOA. Lita standing on business this Monday morning, I guess. She says, but I also don't have chickens. Just tomatoes, lettuce, onions, etc. Lita, if they find out that you're selling those things, not at a farmer's market, because that's where the government could collect their tax, But if you start selling that stuff out of your backyard, yes. Hey, Lita, Miss Lita, yes, can you come and answer a few questions for us? All right, let's get into our third and final story, and it deals with third country deportation. Yes, some of you have heard that term before. Let's get into it. Our final news stop goes back to Africa, and it deals with the Central African Republic, known as the CAR. So the Central African Republic government had made an announcement, a big announcement, that they will be accepting third country deportees from the United States. Once I learn on how to do sounds, guys, that deserves a boo. Once again, the Central African Republic and their government said that they will be accepting third country deportees from the United States. So what is a third country deportee? DJ Kadero. A third country deportee is somebody that is being deported to a country that is not where they are living currently and not where they were born or had parentage. Just to give you an example, somebody that was born in Venezuela, migrated to the United States. For whatever reason, they are now being deported, but they're not being deported to Venezuela. They're being deported to the Democratic Republic of Congo, or in this case, Central African Republic. So yes, these migrants who left other countries, they went to the United States to seek asylum, and the U.S. did not accept them. Now they'll be sent to a country in Central Africa. For more on this, we go on the ground. And yes, we go on the ground once again. Let's get into it.
Central African Republic is the latest African nation to agree to accept third country deportees from the United States, according to Reuters news agency. The deal was reportedly reached during a U.S. delegation visit to Bangui last month. No details of numbers, nationality, or timing of flights were available. The Trump administration has deported thousands of people to third countries under a series of often secret agreements as part of a broader crackdown on immigration. Lawyers say the use of third countries offers a legal loophole to indirectly force asylum seekers to return home. At least 8 African nations, including Eswatini, the DRC, Ghana, and Sierra Leone, have taken in U.S. deportees, usually in exchange for financial or logistical support. Last week, rights groups filed a case against Equatorial Guinea before Africa's Human Rights Commission, accusing the government of forcing deportees back to their home countries in violation of their rights.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm DJ Kadero. You're a host of the Diaspora News on the Diaspora Show, exclusively on 87.9 The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. We're on our third and final story of the Diaspora News, and on this Monday, June 8th, 2026, and it is a Central African country called the Central African Republic is accepting third country deportees. So the U.S. will pay Central African Republic for this service. The money will help, well, they say, the money will help build housing and it will fund the local development. But critics are worried about this deal. Again, Central African Republic is accepting third country deportees from the United States. Again, migrants who are being deported not back to their home country and not staying in the United States where they were living, but to a whole different country where they don't speak the language, know the culture, never eaten the food before, and they don't have any family member or friends. Critics are worried about this deal because Central African Republic has still its own safety challenges. Central African Republic was in a civil war just 5 years ago. Many ask if this is even a safe place for any deportees, let alone third country. This debate is getting warmer by the day because it asks, at what cost, especially financially, do African governments have to literally mess up the trajectory of people's lives? Again, accepting third country deportees, let the U.S. deal with that. But we are in this time. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that third story. Again, another African country, the third one of this 2026, accepting foreigners to be this is insane. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Lita says, in reference to me saying, having whatever she grows out of her backyard to sell to people. She says, laughing my butt off, I'm using it in my kitchen or giving it away, not selling. That's a good answer. That's a good answer because, yeah, you never know. This administration might be listening. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all of those three stories. Again, Iran and Israel begin fighting once again. And who knows if they're going to stop this time. South Africa's president finally addressing xenophobia. After how long? After how long? After how long? Again, it looks like June 30th is the date that local South Africans have picked as a date that black foreigners should leave the country. Again, this is from black South Africans. And then finally, another African country is biting the dust, quote unquote, and accepting the United States' fleet. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it. Accepting their deal of sending third-party deportees into their country. Again, third-party or third-country deportees, meaning it's not a country where these people that are being deported, where their parents are from, where they're from, and it wasn't a country that they were living in like the United States. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all these. How about this? All three stories are pretty heavy. Let's go ahead and give you guys some time to relax, breathe, recalibrate, align your chakras. It is Reggae Monday. I understand. It's Monday, June 8th, 2026, here on 87.9, The Culture, where hip-hop and R&B lives. I'm DJ Kadero. This is the Diaspora Show. We'll go to a music break, just one song. When we come back, we'll have the African proverb of the day. How about that, huh? Does that sound cool to you guys? It's Reggae Monday. Don't go anywhere. I'm DJ Kadero.